Game on, everybody. Map number 1 between the United Kingdom and Ukraine. Okay, this will be an interesting one, because both of the teams that we're currently looking at have lost their first series. So at this point, UK lost to Denmark and Ukraine lost to Germany. And especially the loss of the United Kingdom with Denmark was a bit of a surprise, at least the way that it happened, because UK got stumped. And they have quite a few good players on their lineup, so it was a bit of a shock that they couldn't hold a candle to their opponent there. But now, of course, there's still a chance that you make it out of the group. You have to kind of hope for Denmark to stumble a little bit, but that could definitely happen. And this might be one of the closer series here for sure. As I also said previously, Khaldor.tv, if you guys want to check out the live stream schedule to see if you can watch some of these games live instead of VODs if you're currently watching on YouTube. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button and sub to the channel if you haven't done so. Helps the channel grow and helps to support the esports streams here. And you will also have the chance to get some more information about the groups, which teams are in which group here, as we are starting to near the end of Group 4. This is actually a Group 3 match, if I'm not mistaken. Group 4 is going to be played a little bit later today, or at least parts of it. But the UK with the immediate ban on Garrosh, and also the ban against the Tracer. So, Tai gets a little bit banned out here. I would expect Zeratul to get the same treatment. Would be a bit of a shocker if the Ukraine would be okay with Zeratul being played. I mean, it's all reg pass, so it's a bit of a different story at times where you're focusing on macro games every now and then. But yeah, there's the Zeratul ban, and for very good reason. It would have been extremely weird if that's not the case. But let's go straight in. The first pick still goes to UK, and they obviously have a lot of good players there. But yesterday, when they played their first game in Group 3, they didn't really have a convincing day, and they underperformed, in my opinion, quite a bit. So can they change things up today? Can they actually improve a little bit on that? Already a couple of logical decisions here from the team in blue, taking Abatha immediately. So that allows for some really, really strong combos. Greymane fantastic with it. Jaina obviously can make also a few additional plays depending on the front line that you're picking right now. And it helps you on the solo lane one way or another. But is Ukraine in a position where they can maybe counteract that and build up some early game pressure here? ETC? Ah! Viking time! Oh, I was for a moment tempted about talking about the Vikings when Abatha was picked, and then at the same time I thought, nah, it's not gonna happen. Don't get your hopes up, Khaldor. They're not gonna Viking this one. And here we go. Idea behind the Vikings. You soak 2 lanes with the Vikings, and the rest of your team is 4-manning the 3rd lane. And then you can go straight in and try and bash the Abatha team in the early game as much as possible. So they need a strong 4-man, and we'll see if they actually pull this one off. So now on the left side, Malfurion and Johanna get taken for the UK. So Billy has his hero. And yeah, Ukraine goes for that. Big map, Vikings on that end get value, but again, as I said, the idea is control 2 of the lanes with Vikings, not 3, 2, and on the 3rd lane you have the 4-man pushing. And then whenever the 4-man rotates, you rotate a Viking onto the lanes too. So Samuro gets banned since they don't want to run in any counter action. Of course, you have to be cautious now that the Vikings are not getting farmed too hard, but let's see how the UK is going to react on the last 2 picks against this now. But I'm happy. I'm happy that we're having the Vikings now in play. If it works or not, that's a completely different question. But I love that we at least have the attempt. And there's the Zarya ban. And this is actually a really smart one for exactly what I pointed out just now. You want to have an extremely strong 4-man. And Zarya makes for fantastic 4-man rotations because she can add sustain and damage. And this is really, really great if you're just attempting to push down a single lane and take, for example, a fort down. Karazim picked. That's an interesting choice that I did not expect. I really expected Rhaegar to be taken. Or, well, for a moment, really depending on the next hero, I could have even seen something along the lines of an Oriel here. But Karazim is a bit of a weird choice together with this. Rhaegar would also help you with camps on the map, which is another good move. Granted, there are not as many mercenary camps as on other maps, but it's still a valuable tool to have in your arsenal. Sylvanas makes a bit more sense for the reasons pointed out, but I'm curious what the last pick is going to be. Oh, What the hell? Murky! We get Murky from Galaxy and tie on Vala with Sergeant Hammer as the last pick. UK against Ukraine, everybody, and game number 1 is already a highlight before it even started. No matter what's going on here, either we will have the Vikings with a victory or Murky with a victory. Murky Abathar, the cancer is real as we jump into All Direct Pass, the first map of the best of 3 series. Time to meme, ladies and gentlemen. UK against Ukraine. So on the left side, Galaxy on Murky gets the support from Brad Bucket on Abathar later on, Billion Malfurion, Ty on Vala, and Mac the Kid on Johanna. Yeah, the good old Abathar Murky combo, incredibly annoying to deal with. But on the right side, Ukraine with Candlelight on Karazim, Denardo on ETC, Blu-ray on Sylvanas, Valamax on Sergeant Hammer, and Toxic Silence is playing the Lost Vikings. Toxic Silence, by the way, the Smurf account of Smerten, in case that anybody was wondering here. But yeah, we're good to go. So we have an arrow build for Vala, but as already mentioned previously, here's that foreman that we talked about. So you have a very, very strong foreman that wants to deal with the structures and push them down as quickly as possible. And that's Sylvanas plus Hammer. And the Vikings, their only job, the job of the Vikings is not to push these lanes out. It's not to push the lanes out. It's literally just to soak the experience. And Abathar will be a nuisance rotating between the lanes. And Abathar is not as shitty as pick as some people might currently expect, because you have an Abathar together with Murky. And also, in addition to that, Murky has, thanks to the pufferfish, the wave clear. And the chances of the Vikings to take these pufferfish down are actually slim to none. So the wave clear is definitely there, and that's where the rotation comes in. But Abathar has to help out with this too. The big problem if you have an Abathar composition is that early on in the game you don't have access to your heroic ability, therefore you don't have a copy potential, which means that you only have 4 bodies in the fight and therefore only 4 hit point bars. So as long as your opponent is pushing before level 10, they can get a lot of value there. The Vikings can also then in the late game still do a lot of work and can actually get damage in with a good setup. But we will see an interesting one here. Oxysal needs to be careful because again, down at the bottom of the map he doesn't need the Vikings right now. The rotation towards the camp is still coming. But what I'm also a bit more interested in is how Karazim is going to work out for them. I personally would have expected different supports here, but let's see. This time we actually have the blue team pushing because there's only 2-3 heroes now at the bottom of the map trying to react to this, since the rest is going for the camp here. Candlelight and Valamax with Karazim and Hammer are currently trying to pull that off. And, well, with level 4 talons about to hit. Once that we're having Hammer on, well, in the position where she can go for the hover siege mode, they will of course have an easier time to move through this as well. But here we go, Vikings starting things up with the Viking bribery, straight into the Mercenary Lord. Also, no siege tactics in this case, but the regenerative biosteel, which we sometimes see from Chris. And here comes the push with the camp. This is where they're currently trying to get their value. The Vikings soak the experience top side and at the bottom of the map. Denardo has to be a bit cautious, but is providing some space for his team. And they went at least to the first turret here, as both teams are now starting to still look towards the additional experience points. Now keep in mind, by the way, that the Vikings doesn't... Like, if you have Vikings in your game, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're taking an early experience lead. For some reason, especially on Plastic League level, this is still a huge misconception that you expect a Vikings team to run away with experience early on. It's usually the later stages of the game where the Vikings get a lot of experience for the team because they can spread out onto the lanes. In the early game, when everybody is still very diligently soaking all 3 lanes, that's normally not the case, and it kicks in a bit later. But the push is going to be important, and especially with level 7, we need to have some kind of attempt from the Ukraine to just move, down some of these lanes a little bit. But the rotations are still there. Vikings on all lanes. The foreman is sort of continuously rotating as you would expect, and as I highlighted a bit earlier, they're trying to take one tower down at a time. And Mac the Kid is in trouble too, and that could have nearly been a kill. Abathar was helping out with the shield and the carapace a little bit, making sure that Johanna doesn't die. 4 stacks so far on Vala. And now, Brad Bucket has to be a bit careful at the bottom of the map too. It's only Eric, but still, Another camp gets claimed once more, so they are diligently rotating around that. Here comes also with level 7 the Hover Siege mode, so Sergeant Hammer is now in a much better position. And on the left side, the attempt to go straight in for the objective. The Abathur team trying to make the plays, also going straight into the slime on level 7 with the Black Lagoon after initially going for the slime time on level 4. And together with that, also 10... Ooh, Balog actually going down. First one to fall at the top lane, where Vala has currently eliminated him. Vala now on 5 stacks and also has the repeating arrow. But the push to the mid lane is once again active. Galaxy is moving into the spin to win for the Vikings for the wave clears. They are trying to use it. Vala has to rotate into the middle to help out. And Hammer is shelling away from the backline. Doing fairly well thus far. ETC, of course, going to try and create as much space as possible for Hammer whenever one of these attacks keeps coming. But they still have to be careful here. Hammer is fine, but ETC has taken a bit of a beating, and if he falls, then you're also in trouble. But the Vikings now trying to push out the top lane so that some experience is lost to the UK team. But they can't, and that's another kill against Balog, and also more stacks for Vala. Good rotation so far from the red team. Toxic Silence. Ooh, nearly running into the Toxic Nest here. And is actually attempting to steal the camp away, as it seems. Runs straight into the egg. Can take that one down too, but the Viking Bribery is going to be active in a couple of seconds. Unless someone moves in for this one. Galaxy just lost the egg and he's just like, well, I guess I'm out for a couple of seconds, guys. I would be shocked if nobody deals with Eric, though, because once the camp comes up, he's just going to bribe the shit out of it. Murky is already starting to move in. Eric is still there. Drops the egg again. And is now sniffing that out too. But they might get the kill now against Johanna finally, and indeed they do. First real kill in the game. Johanna down. Murky is now starting to take the camp here by himself. And Eric is missing out on that, but they're bribing the right side. So Olaf has moved in and used those bribery spots as they make now a play for the objective. And they have level 10 and are an entire level ahead. There's the play again. Stage dive is in. And so far the Viking team is doing actually okay. Yeah, still soaking the experience at the bottom of the map. Abathur therefore gets very little value out of his global presence and his ability to soak the side lane, because there's always someone on the lane against him to soak too. Murky has actually now taken to the bottom of the map against Eric. But as you can tell over here, the fort is starting to slowly fall, and it seems like they're also able to get the first objective. And once that the raiders come in, this is going to be a pretty rough push. This is going to be a problem. Murky gets attacked, but isn't falling yet. Level 10 abilities are now ready for both sides. Vala's also doing an excellent job with the stacks on 4. He's on 16 now. And here we go. Octo grab, blessed shield, strafe, and here come the raiders. And this is the moment when you really try to push as hard as you can. I mean, a few of these turrets have already been destroyed, or the towers have been destroyed on every single lane. In the middle they got even more. But here comes that push with Sylvanas again. Ooh, Jojo with the early Iron Skin. If that's a power slide, yeah. And there's the 7-sided. They cannot get the kill, but with only half HP on Jojo, that tank is not going to participate in the defense anytime soon. That fort is down as a result, and now they're pushing it even farther forward towards the keep. And the Raider is just now starting to crush together with them. So they're going to break through this. And that means that UK has to divert some of their resources towards the mid lane. They need to get everybody in here to defend that keep, and therefore their forts on the side lanes are exposed as it stands. Sylvanas actually surviving, nicely played, but ETC sacrificed himself for it. Slid in and then got octo grabbed immediately. Yeah, bottom of the map. Wall is down. Not as much damage as I thought. Abathur has actually defended against this for a long time. And top side, here comes the push with the Vikings. So more experience lost to the UK and a bit more damage against the structures. But now the Abathur team is really capitalizing on the fact that they have a continuous soak on every single lane. The first fort is down too. That adds up, of course. Eric needs to be cautious, but there's nearly a level lead for them. Only a kill against the kill. The macro game that is being played by the Ukraine is decent. They're doing fairly well with it. Now looking at also the wave clear. Vikings on 60,000, 63,000 for the opponent. Yeah, that's a cool thing about having a Vala with an arrow build on this map. You can easily go for a boss thanks to the arrows. But now the red team comes in and they have a complete foreman here. There's the leash immediately on the boss. That time didn't pan out for them. And again, the move into the next structure. And Sylvanas is going to disable the fort in just a moment, and they can go a little bit deeper even. Here comes the attempt by Johanna to also go in, but things are not really looking pretty for them now, as you can already tell. Keep in the mid lane nearly opened up as the wall was about destroyed. Once again, Candlelight jumping in with some additional damage. Level 13 talent, give them another big lead. Here's the quest completed for Vala. It's going to make it even easier for her now to take bosses if they're ever left alone for just a few seconds. Sylvanas jumps in, and this fort takes a beating. 7-sided strike once again. Vala nearly down. The BFG of Hammer barely missing out on the kill. And now they're pushing it back again. Mid lane at least is getting pressure too. That's where we had some of the camps doing work, but the Vikings have already defended as much as they could. Nice. Nice move with the strafe, and the kill again. Sergeant Hammer as up at the top lane. Abathur was taken down by the Vikings. The slug eliminated too. A kill for a kill therefore. And Abathur, well, that should be eliminated once. I liked also the move down here at the bottom as ETC was trying to provide some space again. Now they're going for Johanna. Einskin isn't up. That's a problem. But she's still able to get away. Back and forth game now. Game number 1 in this series. And it is, as expected, a closer one than the previous match that we had today. But the Vikings are still doing their thing. Now let's look at experience for just a moment. 20,000 XP soaked by the Vikings. They are busy on every single lane right now. And continuously at the top, the Mule gets dropped to try and keep this in play. But the experience lead will lead to an early level 16. And that's exactly what the Ukraine needs to push aggressively again. And they are now the ones threatening the boss at the bottom of the map. Here comes the move with Tai. They're actually letting this one slide too. Letting it leash again. They're not really willing to fight this one just yet. Murky comes in too, should get the Abathur support in just a few moments. Another pushback. Octo grab, and a big BFG from Sergeant Hammer. What a setup here again. 7-sided strike now too, they move out. And the important thing to note here is that every single time that these moves happen, especially when Abathur also uses his ult, the Vikings are still soaking. Vikings are still soaking the lanes. And that is a problem. Murky at least takes down Olaf. Top side. There's the play again towards the bottom of the map. They're going for Vala. Tai gets cleansed. The murder cleanse that saves her. But here comes the stage dive. And that's the end of Tai. Tai goes down. And Murky is at the top right trying to claim the camp. So Galaxy has already yielded the position and said, okay, we won't be able to make any big moves at the bottom of the map, but at least we can steal their camp away. I'm a bit surprised that nobody goes for this, but instead they're actually moving in towards the boss now in order to take that. Murky is pushing through the middle. They need to take care of that eventually. Murky, especially with the camp, they can break through this. But 16 talents, that gives the advantage, and especially the giant killer, over to Ukraine. Here comes the kill against the boss, and now they can still make the play for the objective. But Vala is back to business. In terms of the damage output, in case you're wondering, 95,000 siege damage by Murky. The Vikings sitting on 100k. And in addition to that, 33,000 for Sergeant Hammer. Not quite on the level of Vala though. 46,000 for her, pretty respectable. Strafe, of course, adding a lot to the damage output that we have from her. Objective, not quite claimed yet, but 16 talents are at least there. And that gives us another slime talent. The toxic build-up is here. The boss completely ignored, I might add. Here comes the Octograb again, and ETC is about to get out. Sergeant Hammer creating some space too. The Vikings again with the play, again from behind. And Murky is down. The objective might still be taken. It looks like the copy of Vala is the first one to fall. And that wall is also getting dropped as the boss is still making its play. And there's even more coming through the bottom of the map right now. Murky immediately reacting with another pufferfish. Candlelight a little bit low. Second arrow from Vala also coming in. But Billy's in trouble. Billy gets isolated and Billy gets eliminated. ETC with a stage dive, cutting the path of retreat off. Tai is getting attacked here by Sylvanas, and in they go. Karazim with a quick punch just as the strafe gets activated, and now another set of raiders will come through the lanes for Ukraine. They already opened up the bot lane. The keep is heavily exposed and on half HP. There is, of course, Abathur's Mule that we have to consider, and it gets dropped immediately. But it seems like Ukraine is going to try and push for this as quickly as they can. They had to retreat a few of their heroes, though. Sylvanas, for example, moved back together with Candlelight. Down at the bottom of the map, Mule is still active, but they're trying to get some additional damage in, even with Abathur helping out. They need to be careful. Galaxy is about to arrive, and Valamax is moving away. knows, of course, that he has to stay as far away from Murky at this point as possible. A good Octograb could definitely hurt if there's some damage follow-up later on. The problem is that now with Murky down, the Raiders are moving again through the bottom, and there is just no way to save that keep. Oh, great kill with the BFG against Malfurion. 7-sided strike. Ty's already vaulting away with Vala, trying to drop another arrow, but the keep is down. In the middle of the map, Murky is already setting up for the defense. You can't go for the core right now, but you can definitely go for keep number 2. And this is exactly where the Ukraine is headed. Ukraine is moving in, trying to drop it, trying to take it down. The second armor shield is going to be removed from the boss in just a moment. And they don't give Avatar any chance to heal that up either. On level 20, Fury of the Storm, the Ultra Capacitors, and the Transgression for Kerosene. And they are moving mercilessly to the top lane. With Malfurion still down for another 8 seconds, this is looking more than just a bit grim. And there's still a boss at the top side. And this is exactly the boss where they're already headed. There's a quick look from Eric, what's going on there. But they can claim that. It's 7 kills against 2, 3-level lead. And they also have level 20 talents. I mean, hell yeah, they can go for the boss if they want to. Abathar is trying to defend the lanes as much as possible. The large and in charge from Smerten on the Vikings, as he's using his level 16 to stun out Johanna for a moment. Viking bribery helps them to take the camp on the right side, and now they can just slow play the boss at the top. Slow play in the sense that if the UK is trying to force a fight, you just move back and you always threaten boss, but you never really commit to it. You just make sure your opponent has to stay at the top side, because the remaining 2 lanes are gonna push very heavily. And here we have exactly that scenario. Murky is on his way towards the top, but they can take all the time in the world for this one. There is no rush for them. Instead, it is UK that have to play aggressive, and they do that with the copy on Abathar. The double Vala. Brett Bucket comes in with the damage as he shoots out the arrows. They're trying to lock down Hammer, and the stretch 6 hit points, 5 hit points on Sergeant Hammer. And Hammer survives. Strafe attempt by Vala looked extremely good, but did not quite work out. By now, Toxic Silence moved down to the bottom of the map. The Vikings are already trying to pressure another lane as the top is attacked. But the UK is actually starting to go for the boss themselves now. The Vikings are getting aggressive bot side, but there's not a single Viking at the top of the map, which means that they can't use the ult to jump top once more. But they keep them busy. Ukraine is doing exactly what they need to do. Keep them busy, keep them locked into place. Don't allow them to do anything big. Don't allow them to take the boss and just play around. It's exactly what they're doing now. They have still 2 of the Vikings at the bottom of the map, waiting for the boss here. Still pushing that out with Toxic Silence. Top side, the attack attempt once more against Ukraine. Objective is also on the map, but nobody cares about it at this point. Yeah, Ukraine should really try to capitalize on this a little bit. And they're really trying to go for that boss here. Yeah, Fury of the Storm, they get the Vikings in. Another camp is about to be taken. Murky is also trying to claim this one as the lanes are heavily attacking. Red Bucket himself needs to be careful and is moving away, because that could have been the end of him. And the Vikings are still taking the boss at the bottom of the map solo. Yeah, there's a quick toxic nest from Abathar, so they know what's coming, but at the same time the top boss is also attacked. Murky isn't even going for it, so they could have taken it, which they obviously don't know. They don't have all the vision that we do. Did the boss actually leash? Of course it leashed. So, yeah, the Vikings still not visible. But now level 20 is nearly ready for the United Kingdom. UK nearly has that. The Vikings trying to take that again. Once more at 50% HP. Boss is losing a couple of hit points, but gets healed out. Top side, still the attack. By now we have level 20 abilities on both sides. And here comes the fight again. 7-sided. There's the slide, but this time the kill against Kerosene is strong. He went for the cleansing touch, but if he's the target, he can't do anything about it, of course. And the Vikings are finally about to take the boss at the bottom of the map. So there will be a straight up attack against the opponent's core. Towards the top though, a boss will be taken in a few seconds by the blue team too. So at least they should be able to get through the fort here. Renado is there. Could go for the core. Murky is the one trying to defend this as much as possible. But how is the red team going to play this right now? Ukraine could try and make the move. They could try and move straight onto the core. Because keep in mind, if you don't kill the core, if you don't destroy it, it is just gonna heal up. One of the Vikings is down. They try to go straight up again for the camp here, and they might be able to get that. Vikings are pushing the bot lane now. Boss is starting to move in. I mean, if you want to go for the core, then you can just YOLO it right now. If not, the core itself will heal. And Abathur, of course, still has that mule for any structures that potentially take damage here. ETC could even go in with this. Yeah, ETC has another chance to jump in here too. All of the Vikings are down, by the way. And they still play for the objective. The game might not even be over. Ukraine had a massive lead, but they also kind of misplayed that a little bit. They definitely didn't get as much as you would expect. Now there's still a big attack coming. And honestly, the entire time I'm just waiting for the ETC stage dive. I'm the entire time waiting for that ETC stage dive towards the core. Denado moves back. And, well, at this point, the chance is over. No, they're not going to get this one. If he stage dived earlier, he might have been able to threaten something. Maybe the team itself could have moved in. The core is now going to slowly but steadily heal up again. But if there would have been a concerted effort by all of them, that should have been an easy drop on the core and therefore a successful game won for Ukraine. But as it happens, the game is still ongoing, and now, if this objective is taken, then, I don't know, Ukraine might be in trouble. Abathur is defending the 2 lanes that have lost the keep the entire time, and Murky is rotating from one lane to another. I mean, look at the siege damage from Murky. Murky at 183,000 siege damage. There they go again. Octograb hit ETC though, and that's a problem. He's the one who has no issues here whatsoever, as long as Karazim is still alive for the cleansing touch. They're trying to get the channel in again, but it seems like the red team is going to lose out on the objective. They're trying to channel once more. The Vikings are in. Another channel attempt, and they reclaim it just in time. Red Bucket is going to lose the copy on Abathur, as the blue team is starting to lose some ground here. The push towards the left side, and let's see if Ukraine can take another objective. This is only map number 1 in the best of 3 series. There's still a chance for both teams to make it into the next round of the tournament. There's still a chance. The team that loses here is definitely out though. So if you lose this match, then it is all over for you. Now the objective is taken. We are currently 21 minutes into this, by the way. Which means that also those minion waves are starting to really hurt. Especially with those gnolls. Murky down, Olaf down. Objective at 24 seconds. They're trying to retake it again. Bot side, Abathur has to deal with this. There's 2 gnolls already in that army. A third one is moving in. Up to the top. Octograb again. Again against ETC. They need it against Karazim, but they don't get it. Here's the heals from Malfurion as he's keeping everybody in play. The core gets attacked again on the left side. UK is in a bit of trouble there. Murky gets wrecked whenever he pokes his head up. And now Ty is also low, but they're trying to make the play for Johanna. And Jojo barely gets away. Stun attempt here as Toxic Silence moves in, but he can't get the kill either. And Murky is coming straight up from the top once more. Valamax is low and barely makes it out before the flashlight stops him. Eric gets taken out, but if the channel comes through from the UK, they will take the objective. So it has to be interrupted quickly. And that's what they're looking at. But there we go. UK actually takes it. UK has a chance. We are 22 minutes in. These objectives hurt. They really hurt. And if ETC falls, and he does, then they have a fantastic chance to go for, well, first of all, a key, but maybe even for the core itself. Look at this, by the way. Massive, massive wave that has been built up at the top. Cavalry is riding through as we speak, and it's just completely annihilating this. But they're gonna try and go for the core here, I assume. 40 seconds for ETC to come back. And now we have in the middle, Murky dying again. Here comes the cavalry though. That keep has no chance. That keep is definitely going to fall within seconds. I mean, just look at that monster. They're just burning this away. Are they trying to push for core? That's the question. No, they're not. They're playing the safe. They're playing this safe. And yes, there's still 2 armor shields on the core. So I guess smart move after all. This one down at the bottom of the map should get the fort, but not much more than that. Up towards the top, there's the big question. Can this one maybe take the keep down? This game is awesome. This game is actually awesome. I'm still a bit shocked that the Ukraine hasn't won it though, because they had such a massive lead that it would have been pretty easy for them to go for the core at any point. They had 2 of the armor shields already removed, and now all of a sudden it's even Steven as we are heading into minute 24 and 25 with late game Abathur Murky just absolutely destroying this. And in terms of the talents, I mean, Murky went for the making Inky here, so cooldown reduction instead of any of the other talents that could have been taken here. Kuna Tehuna, baby. But one keep is down, and the situation is starting to equalize a little bit in terms of structures. There's still a big lead of having the bottom keep destroyed too. Murky down again. Not that he cares. I mean, the egg hasn't been spotted yet. And also he's replacing it a few times. But yep, Murky is back to business. And this is getting nuts. 21 stacks on the other hand for Malfurion on his level 4. So we're currently looking at 28,000 damage from Malv. Boss is getting attacked, immediately sniffed out. Vikings are at the top. There is a chance for them to actually claim the top lane, but I think they need it down at the bottom of the map. 110,000 damage for Hammer, 120,000 for Vala, and the fiesta continues. Yeah. Top side. Eric is just looking here. Can I take it alone? I don't think you can. Well, maybe you can, but it's going to take you a long time. More than you have. Let's put it like this. Push through the middle is already there. Vikings by now with 194,000 siege damage. Murky is sitting on 212,000. And another attempt to maybe even go for this one. No, it's already claimed. It's already taken. Objective is up. Teams are looking at the bosses. Vikings are spreading out on the map and trying to push the lanes. On any other map, I really think that this would have been over a long time ago because of the catapults. But Gnolls are just not in a position where they have the same push power. And the core regenerating in and of by itself is obviously a huge problem too. Because, yeah, it might drop down to 50% HP. But that doesn't matter if nobody is there to finish the job. And yeah, Abyssal is also helping out with that, spawning locusts the entire time. Now the camp gets taken slowly and steadily, but they actually yielded the boss. They didn't take the boss, they went for the camp instead. And this is a 25-minute boss that is pushing to the bot lane right now. This is another problem. Murky about to be taken down once more. But the situation has severely changed now. 7-sided strike comes in. There's the BFG. ETC gets saved. And in come the Vikings with a kill attempt. But with a jump, they move out of harm's way. And this is getting a little bit bonkers because that bad boy will hurt. There are Gnolls, though, that have a good chance to defend it eventually. I don't think that the game is going to be lost here for Ukraine. But I also think that this keep is very likely going to fall. Yeah, it takes a huge amount of damage, and this team fight is probably going to decide the game. One of the Vikings about to be taken out, but one sec. Oh, it's actually Murky that gets attacked here. Vikings are also low. Murky is dead again. Can they get the kill against Mac the Kid? They're trying, and Abyssal saves the target for a bit longer, but eventually Johanna goes down, and this might just be it. But in comes the kill. No, Denado gets away. The body block against Murky makes it possible, but Sylvanas falls. Murky is dead again. The boss went through the keep and is on the core now, but it won't be able to take it down. And this, I don't even know why they defend at this point. Core is going to defend itself. They need to go for the objective, but Sylvanas and Johanna are both not ready here. Push through the mid lane. 27 minutes into the game now. And the blue team trying to grab the objective. And let's just face it, if the objective is taken, it doesn't really matter who claims it. The game will end by the team that wins it. That's the one thing that we pretty much know for sure at this point. And this is why the red team is moving in again. Murky with the interrupts here. But they need to be careful. Johanna's back in another few seconds, and then they have to be careful with this. But they get a few more points. They actually get a little bit more, and it might just be enough, because now Hammer is pushing this in, and here comes the kill attempt against Vala, and Vala goes down! The guitar to the face, the objective taken, and Ukraine might just have sealed the deal on this game finally. Way later than expected, but this is looking great for them. Murky dies again, the Vikings are also in trouble, but the objective is gonna move through the lanes in just another moment. Murky coming in from behind. The egg is there, by the way, so that's up for the taking too, and it's getting taken immediately. Murky down for 60 seconds, Vala for 36. This has to be it. This simply has to be game now. I mean, right now, what else are you gonna do? In the mid lane, the Vikings are already helping out to annihilate this wave, to smooth the way for the objective, and the Raiders are moving through the bottom of the map. Now the rest of the team is moving into. There's the power slide attempt against Billy. Nice BFG setup. Mac the Kid, though, with a save, and Malfurion survives. And the Raiders are going straight in for the core. And the mid lane gets pushed too. 2 heroes still missing. Vala is going to come back in a moment with Strafe, by the way, I might add. But this is just a little bit too much for them to handle. Game number 1, yes, no question anymore. It's going to be taken by Ukraine. They take the lead against the UK. Ukraine finally winning Aldrich thingy and taking the lead in the series. UK against Ukraine. First game, big meme. Big memes coming out here with Vikings and Abatha plus Murky. Now we're heading into Volskaya Foundry, and this will be very interesting because there is a scenario in which the UK does not take a single map in this entire tournament and gets dropped completely. A team that I honestly had pegged to make it into the playoffs, but who is already struggling since they lost earlier to Denmark. And now they are in a position where it might completely blow black against them, because if they lose to the Ukraine, then they are going to be eliminated from the tournament. You're pretty much out. I think there is a mathematical chance of a tie happening, but yeah, I'm just going to call a no on that one. So if they lose here, then they are just flat out eliminated from the tournament. Zeratul gets banned again. That makes a lot of sense. Again, you want to ban tie out. Volskaya Foundry as the map. And I honestly, I can't imagine that the UK looks at this and says like, we're okay with it. Obviously, you're never okay being behind in the series, but I don't think that this in any way reflects the ambitions that they had for this tournament. I don't think they came in here and said like, all right, guys, let's see how the group stage goes. If we make it through, that's awesome. And if we don't make it through the group stage, that's not a big deal either. I'm pretty sure they came into this and said, all right, guys, let's try and aim for the #1 spot, but at least the #2 has to be accomplished here so that we make it out and into the playoffs. And it is a huge disappointment from their perspective to not even win a single map yet. They're 0-3 right now in this group stage. Okay, so with this we have Blaze taken right away. Blaze more and more becoming super early pick, and hoo-hoo, Chromie! Valamax picks Chromie, so the fake dragon makes it into the game again. And Denado picks Johanna. So here we go. Jojo, always a good pick for the map. No real meme picks here. I mean, there's a couple of things that we could still see. For example, Rexan, also a Crash Lightning Thrall, depending on how heavy the front lines are going to be. But first of all, Rhaegar gets picked by Billy, so normal Fury this time, playing more around the maps than anything else, and trying, of course, to get the items too. Galaxy with Sylvanas. And, well, what are we looking at in terms of bans? You have Ty and you have Bread Bucket on the other side. You could ban out Vala if you don't plan on picking her for yourself. That's still a good hero for UK to take. I mean, the hit point pool of Ty is, the hero pool of Ty is obviously pretty big, so there's a lot that he can still take. I mean, he played Orphea, we have seen him with a lot of mages, there's also still Li Ming around, so it depends a bit on what you are most afraid of, but they ban out Mal'Ganis anyway, so they focus onto the main tank. Could have also banned Li Ming, by the way. I mean, again, I think Vala is a likely pick for him, but Li Ming would also be quite strong and has the reset mechanics that he could try and exploit too. Here comes Ana, the ban against her, so the Chromie and our other heroes can't get Nano boosted. Also a good hero to have on this map just in general, so you can just park one tank, so to say, on the checkpoint and then just like keep Ana in the background and just heal away. Malfurion, a likely choice now, unless they want to go into something a little bit more exotic like Alexstrasza for this map. Normally picked on Infernal Shrines, but can have an impact on Volskaya Foundry on top of that too. But instead it's Stukov, and this is a bit old school, trying the Stukov setup. And honestly, if they can set a good combo up with him and drop that silence at the right moment in time, they have a really nice shot there. I like Stukov. He's not really a big part of the meta at this point, but I like our boy. I like the Admiral here. But what is the UK going to do? For me, my eyes are on them right now. I feel it's really on them to change this and turn it around. And Li Ming comes in. So we're going to see the resets. Resets it is, and a Bread Bucket on ETC. And the last pick with more damage that's definitely needed for Ukraine. What's it going to be? They already have Chromie. They need still a bit of a finisher. And Chromie is most of the poke. But are we going to see a hero along the lines of Vala? Is it going to be a little bit more burst? Or the attacker? What's going to be the play at this point? They have it in the hand now. They can drop a 2-0. Oh, Lunara. Okay, a hero that I did not expect. Damage over time comes in. Alright, needs to be very careful that Li Ming doesn't completely shit on her, but still, Blu-ray, if he can pull it off, will put a lot of pressure onto Rhaegar with the heals. Let's jump in. Volskaya Foundry, map number 2, Ukraine against the United Kingdom. Game on, everybody! The UK, without a map win this far. Can they change it here in Volskaya Foundry? They go up against the red team, Ukraine in red in the lead. And well, first of all, to the left side in blue, Galaxy on Sylvanas, Billy on Rhaegar, Tai on Li Ming. We have Bread Bucket on Blaze and Mac the Kid on ETC. On the right side of the map, at this point, we are actually looking at Candlelight on Stukov, Denard on Johanna, Valamax on Chromie, Toxic Silence on Chen. And at the same time, we have Blu-ray on Lulnara. So let's get ready to rumble and see what we're going to get here. I mean, first of all, what we have, low blow on, on the side of Stukov. In addition to that, there seems to be a bit of an approach towards the top lane, trying to drop that. Also, a bit of a split, a 2-3 with Sylvanas moving down to the bottom of the map, together with Brag Buckets. Blaze. Stukov comes down here. But yeah, they can't really get any kind of kill or damage just yet. New habits for Blaze, level 1 talent. He wants to go for the unstoppable frames. The teams are going to wait for the 1 minute mark in the game until they rotate towards the camp spots to grab the first turret as quickly as they can. That's at least what you can expect here. And should be coming through in just a moment or two. And yep, there we go. First rotation already slowly towards the bot lane so that they have an easier time going for it. But it could be a bit of a variation of that play if the red team rotates towards the healing camp first, which I think they might even do. Nah. Okay, so yeah, everybody is still going straight in for the turret first. There is in theory a variation of this where you go in for the healing camp first for your support camp and then you rotate towards your own camp. That oftentimes doesn't really pan out. Teams play usually the safer version where you go for your own turret and then you still decide if you want to fight over this one in the middle between the top and the mid lane or not. But ETC is already sniffing that out. We saw Li Ming sitting around this a little bit earlier to double check what's going on. And now everybody is just like having a quick look and saying like, alright, how do we actually play this out now? Bottom of the map, there's still the little setup with Galaxy and Bread Bucket on Sylvanas and Blaze as they are attempting to take 1 or 2 of these towers down. So far, Chen is holding them back. Level 4 with time troubles for Chromie. And there's the attack. Talons come in. In this case, it's also the Withering Flame. So apparently the job of Chen is going to be to jump straight onto Li Ming and keep her damage as low as possible, which isn't necessarily a bad move, honestly, because we have Tai on Li Ming and he is probably the key player still for UK, and the resets on Li Ming might just be the tool that the blue team needs in order to turn this around. So if you can keep his damage low throughout these fights, that would be a huge advantage for Ukraine. So having Toxic Silence, aka Smatten, try and make that play. That's definitely something that could work out in their favor in the long run. With level 10 abilities, Lunara is also going to become extremely interesting here, since her poke with poison and damage over time can really drain Rhaegar out of mana very quickly if executed properly. The healing beacon, on the other hand, went over to Mac the Kid, therefore to the United Kingdom. Have an item advantage heading into the next objective now. And already the control point is being fought over by both of the teams, as we see Vala Max trying to get additional stacks for Chromie. So he gets 7 now. And it's a lot of damage actually against him. The one thing that I'm really interested in is also later on in the game, when we're having our level 10 abilities, what we're actually going, or level 13 in particular actually, when the Virulent Reaction becomes an option for Stukov, if he goes for that and can lock targets down, because they really need to get these setups with Blessed Shield on level 10. And yeah, good old Jojo is already pushed back. Level 7 is even quicker, despite the fact that they have 4 heroes in the middle of the map for the blue team, so that's a great opportunity already. In comes the Calamity for level 7 Li Ming. And without level 7 finally coming in, There was no chance for the Ukraine to make any kind of moves, but now they have even talents and can finally start to fight for the objective points. And with this, we also see the splintered spear, so trying to spread the damage as much as possible. And our eyes are definitely on Blu-ray, because if Lulnara is able to get the continuous damage in, that would be fantastic for her. And as mentioned previously, also drain the mana pool of Rhaegar quickly. And just look at... oh my god, ETC is down, but he doesn't lose, or they don't lose the item. He lost it, but they grabbed it again. Now the turret is on the ground. Here comes the kill attempt! And Denado barely makes it out of harm's way. That was a close call, though. 5 versus 4 at this point. But they need to move onto the checkpoint right now if they want to have a chance here. Overtime has been reached, and they're taking all of these items down, but ETC is also back to business. Bradbuck is a little bit far out, and that's a lot of free damage on him. If they could even get the kill, that would be a dream, and it seems like they can. Down he goes. 5 versus 4 still, and another big lead. ETC slides in, and that might have been a little bit too aggressive. Lulnara gets taken down as the combo of Li Ming takes her apart. And that's exactly what we talked about in the draft. A hit point pool makes her the priority target for the mage. There's another setup with Chromie, but Stukov is low, and Tai delivers with the second kill against the support. In goes the aggression against Johanna, and with a triple kill, the UK is just set up and bound to take Protector number 1. So far, so good. Second game going a bit better for them. Now, the macro... that macro setup that we saw in game number 1 was apparently a little bit more advantageous for Ukraine, but now with the team fights, we're seeing UK build up some momentum, and they have an opportunity to prepare for the objective, top side. You always want to take that fountain down as quickly as you can. First objective makes you want to rotate top. Second objective, you want to rotate down to the bottom of the map to prepare for the third spawn. But yeah, all you need to do is take this one down. Everything else is a bonus. So already mission accomplished right here. They have level 10. They're still looking at experience gains in the middle of the map with Li Ming, and at the bot lane, the entire wall has been opened up. The fountain has been destroyed too. So even for objective number 3, they already have a setup that is going to work out for them, because they themselves will still hold on to that extra fountain for a bit longer. If you can get the fort, and again, obviously that's a fantastic spot, but they also don't want to be caught with their pants down once the Protector gets eliminated. So they're already moving away here. Level 10 isn't ready yet for Ukraine, and they don't have that lockdown. If Ukraine had heroic abilities, a Blessed Shield would have been all that's needed here from Denado to lock them into place long enough for the kills to come in. Now we have the leap for Lulnara and Storm Earth and Fire for the Panda. No surprises when it comes to heroics. ETC with the stage dive also for the global value that he's going to provide his team. And, well, here comes the next grab of items. 29 stacks for Chromie, 12 stacks currently with the freshest ingredients for Chen. And another attempt to fight over the item spot towards the top. So yes, it's healing beacon time. And Mac the Kid grabs it again. Earlier he lost it, as we said, but they recovered it shortly after. So now they are slightly ahead again in items. Timeout for Chromie. And the second objective is soon going to be announced too. Fort is already dropped. That's important. There's the Blessed Shield, but Mac is completely unimpressed, and Spilly immediately dropped the cleanse on him. Even the healing beacon dropped though, so that's a bit of a win. More stacks for Chromie too, that definitely helps. Full 5-man setup that we have here. Galaxy is still sitting at the side, but is playing the safe now too. And Chen is in the meantime just pushing the bot lane. With that 5-man effort at the top side, not really yielding any results, except of baiting a couple of cooldowns out. We have, yeah, Blaze just doing his thing bot side. There's experience lost now for the red team, and he is starting to severely damage that fort. And that is preparing even more for the third objective than anything else. So this isn't really working out as well for Ukraine as they probably hoped for. Especially since even with the rotation towards the bottom, they can't take Blaze down. Objective hasn't been announced yet, but it's also going to center around level 13, and that advantage goes to the UK. 3 kills against 2 might not sound like much, but they are more than a level ahead of their opponent. That's pretty solid. 13,000 damage from Lulnara. 15,000 for Sylvanas and Li Ming, and here come the talents. Level 13 is ready, and that gives especially the shield over to Rhaegar, which is of course a great tool to get this Ancestral out a bit quicker. On top of that, the Suppressive Fire. And with the help of Sylvanas, they're getting a huge amount of damage again onto the bottom fort. I mean, slowly and steadily, they're just like wiggling the XP, the hit points down there. One after another, they're chomping away at it. Chop, 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 and down goes the fort, or well, nearly. ETC is sitting at 16 stacks, so once that he has the completion on his quest talent on level 1, it's going to be great for him too. Bit of a lockdown attempt bot side. If Red Bucket would have been here a bit quicker, they could have tried to get the jet propulsion in, and maybe even kill Chen. Especially since he already used the Triple Panda previously. But at the top of the map, yeah, the lead is going to go to UK again. So they have a really solid setup here. Okay, bot side, still the push. It's frustrating. It's honestly frustrating for Ukraine right now. They're in a spot where they want to go for the objective, but they also have to defend their bottom fort. At this point, it feels like they've just given up. And indeed, it is down already, so they just said, okay, screw it, we can't go for it anyways. Now on level 13, we have the virulent reaction. Camps are stolen away too. As long as ETC survives topside, which he does, there's not really a lot that Ukraine can gain from this. And there's another item advantage now for the UK. They're doing actually fantastic with this. Actually, they don't even give a fuck about the top side. They're saying, well, boys, if you stay top, we're just going to take your keep. Thank you very much. Galaxy jumps in, jumps out. They go through the wall, and Ukraine is just sitting there saying, like, boys, this isn't really working out. We're losing way too much ground here. The entire wall has been obliterated, and they're already putting the damage onto the keep itself. Yeah, they just keep pushing. They keep pushing. Toxic Silence in. Only the 2 tanks aren't here. But with the keep taking a bit of a beating, ETC is easily moving towards the top and says, oh, well, look at that. A completely abandoned objective. Let's go for it. Blessed Shield could be thrown out. But even if they get a kill, I don't think they can get enough out of this. There's the Blessed Shield and there's the immediate cleanse. Billy is there and says, boys, no, don't worry. I got you. I got you. I still have my Ancestral. We are absolutely fine. So now the bot lane fort is eliminated, the wall is destroyed, the keep is at half HP, and ETC is sitting topside on the checkpoint. And yeah, there's not a care in the world. She's there and is like, alright, we got this, we got this. And they're doing the same thing again! What is this? Red Dota? Am I in the wrong game? What's happening here? Yeah, they're just saying, oh, look at that, free keep. Juicy, juicy, juicy! And they're going to take it. They might lose a hero or two, but that keep is down. Do they even lose anyone? Jet propulsion, triple panda, and the conveyor belt is helping out with it. Tai, oh, with a big combo against Chromie. But still, with the bunker, he actually makes it out for now, doesn't he? Top side, 99% for the red team, 94 for the blue. So ETC is fighting with Johanna right now. It's actually a staring contest between the two of them. Yeah, this isn't stupid at all. 16 talents are ready for UK, and they are chasing Johanna off. And the bot lane has been claimed, so now they can all move towards the top and try to go for the objective. And it seems like the red team has even given this one up. They don't have level 16 talents, so how do you fight this? The answer is you don't. Quest is completed for ETC, another tool. And yeah, easy peasy. They take it, and they have a chance to, yeah, do what at this point? I mean, you pretty much want to go for the remaining fort and then maybe even for the keep, right? You can't go for the core just yet. I don't think they can. And instead, bot lane can't be prepped anymore. So yeah, fort in the mid lane it is. So there we go. This is actually interesting. The UK is just rotating around them. And honestly, it's absolutely cool. Quest is completed for Chromie, so she gets the additional echo. But UK just does what wins them a game now. First objective, win a map. Second objective, win a match. And they are at least en route for the first one here. Yeah, fort is down. First objective, of course, is still not super strong. Scales a lot harder once that objective 3 and objective 4 is reached. That push topside. I'm very interested to see how exactly they're going to play it once that the protector expires. Because in theory they can play the same shit again at the top side. They could do the same thing again. Now 16 versus 17, nearly 18. So now we have the additional talents ready for them. With the combo strikes after enough to share. And Sylvanas is already at the top. Galaxy is sitting tight. Like, boys, I got this. I got this. Let me go in for the wave clear. 23,000 damage for Sylvanas. Put her into the top damage position. And it's all about the items again. Yeah? They're going in for another healing beacon. They've dropped all of the items previously in the attacks, so now they get the healing beacon. There's a potential fight that could be set up too. Toxic Silence comes in. Does get a little bit of damage. It's not really enough. It's not enough to force anything here. But Blaze is still pushing out the top side, and this is the play that they have made the entire game. Look at these fuckers. They do the same thing again. They move to the top side as expected. They're saying, well, it worked at the bottom. Might as well try it top, right? Why not? YOLO, let's go. And Li Ming is interrupting them a little bit. Tai, on the other hand, yeah, dodges out on that. Nicely played by him. But they still have Blaze in a bit of trouble. Here comes the attack. They're going for Stukov, and Candlelight might fall. Stukov goes down. Nice combo from Li Ming. Tai gets out, turns around, and drops another one onto Chen. And he's in trouble too. Galaxy is just barely getting out, but the Ancestral of Rhaegar keeps him alive. And the top lane is still pushing thanks to the camps that they escorted in. They're half a level away from level 20. Situation is fantastic. Yeah, and that keep is taking damage. The keep topside is already taking damage, and they're half a level away from their Storm Talons. And when the objective at the bottom of the map is announced, this is of course going to be another great deal for them. In they go, trying for Chromie, and well, they might just not be able to get her. And as I say, it seems like an burn, baby, burn. Breck Bucket comes in and takes her down. Can you go core? I don't think so. Can you go for another keep? Hell yeah, you can. Okay, 20. 20 is ready. And with that, we actually get Archon. Laser, baby. And he gets mad value out of it too. It's the laser show that we're seeing here. Tai is having some fun with this and just lasers away, lasering the shit out of them, and they are actually getting dropped quickly. Space is created by the front line, the wall is down, and this is just disastrous for the Ukraine. Not only do they take their camps away and the experience, they also take their dignity. Now you're getting lasered into the ground by Archon. Yeah. Oh, they're going for the maximum sentence here. 5 kills against 2. And ETC is at the bottom of the map. And guys, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen here. The second Ukraine moves in for that checkpoint, everybody and their dog is going to concentrate onto the top lane in order to get another keep eliminated. Yeah, and look at it, it's already happening. There's at least a scout from Lunara who says, okay, this time we need to make sure that we at least have a bit of an idea of what's going on. But there it is. And they can just burn them down. Lunara is kept at the bottom of the map now. ETC is saying, okay, let's see what we're going to have with this. But yeah, if they have given any space, they're just going to laser this again. There's already a few combos, and it's on half HP. The keep is on half HP. The team is on the run. ETC is not moving in just yet. And there we have it. And he gets the crowd pleaser too. Cooldown reduction is in. And they are murdering that. Lunara isn't here yet. And Chromie is already dead. Lunara on the way back. But guys, this is keep number 2 that has just fallen. They're chasing them down one after another. Chromie is down. The Panda is in trouble. Toxic Silence gets killed by Archon. And it seems like Johanna might meet the same fate here. Lunara is finally back, but they're already on the core. UK is finally about to win a game in this tournament. And maybe even a match. We're going to see a 3-mapper here, unless Ukraine pulls off something absolutely insane. And with Stukov and Johanna dying, this is just not happening anymore. Chromie can hobble around all she wants here. Lunara, hibbity hop, but Bambi is not going to change a thing at this point. Down goes the core, and that is the UK winning their first map at the Nations Cup. Well done on Volskaya Foundry. GG and well played as we are heading into game number 3 of the series. Cursed Hollow, everyone! Map number 3. We get the 3-mapper that we were hoping for. And the UK still has a chance to make it happen here. So at this point, Ukraine against the United Kingdom, they're going the distance. The winner of this still has a chance to make it out of the group. So far, the leaders in the group are Germany and Denmark. But there's always a chance that one of them has a bad day and then you can take over again. But right now, the one thing that is clear is the loser of this match pretty much is out and has no chance of making it through the groups and will be eliminated from the tournament instead. But as it stands, who takes it? Big map this time. Kind of expected more of a brawly map like Battlefield of Eternity, but this is another map where you can play a lot around Tyrell Sanctification on the boss, Mighty Gust in the same vein. You have potentially Dehaka or any other globe that could be played here. Abathar is going to also be a bit of a concern for the two teams, and has been played previously by Ukraine. This is a fantastic Vikings map, by the way. So UK has definitely to think about, do we really want to keep the Vikings open? Is that something that we're afraid of? Can we deal with that here? And yeah, that's the Tracer ban. So Abathar is open. That's the first one that we have to acknowledge. Abathar is open, Vikings are open, Dehaka, Falstad, ETC with Stage Dive again. There's actually a lot that could happen from a tactical perspective here and a draft perspective from the two teams, since they already both showed that they're willing to just go a little bit out of the normal frame of the meta that we normally enjoy here. So let's see. Hanzo gets banned. Okay. So with Hanzo being banned, they kind of want to make sure that bosses are not simply snuck in. There's the ETC pick, and the reason is pretty clear. You want to have stage dive control. So you want to have him as a global hero later on in the game, so that you can just simply use that global mobility. The Haka isn't really a big part of the meta anymore. You can still play him, but it's not really a preference pick for anybody. There's too many heroes out there on the side lane that just do an excellent job that are not the Haka. Blaze would be one example, Liu is another one, you can pick Malthael, there's a few others, but there's the early Blaze pick again. That doesn't surprise at all. And Galaxy goes straight into Sylvanas for the second time in a row. Abathar has been disregarded so far. Might not even be picked here. Vikings are still up. If anyone wants to play a macro game, that is something you can address. And Ukraine, if they actually want to do this, have to think about it now, because there's another ban coming up in just a moment. So if they want to go into any of these picks, this would be the time where they can really try and pull that off. Thrall comes in and Gul'dan. Okay. Thrall pick is something that not necessarily expected. And with Thrall now taken, I kind of wonder a bit if we're going to see them with a triple front line. Because Thrall together with ETC is a little bit more on the weaker side if you are thinking about a really beefy frontline that can protect your backline. So if you want to have another hero that helps you out there, you can definitely try and do that. I guess supports are being banned by UK now, before they go into their own pick. No, Chen. Yeah, they're also afraid of that triple frontline. I would assume that a Rhaegar pick comes through from the UK, so that they control the camps a little bit more. And then Malfurion is an option for the opponent's team. Ah, there's also still Ana. The top three heroes in the support side are still Malfurion, Rhaegar, and Ana. Those are the three that are currently dominating the meta on the European end. And on this map, I would assume Rhaegar to be taken. Again, he is just fantastic when it comes to camp control, and there's a lot of camps to be claimed. So let's see if they actually go for Rhaegar, or if they are going into something else. I mean, Malfurion's follow-up with the root on any kind of stun are also great and oftentimes lead to kills. And Billy really likes his Malfurion, so that would be an argument in that favor. But here we have Rhaegar and Mal'Ganis. Okay. Mal'Ganis, and what do we see on the other side? How does the red team now round out their draft? They still need their support. Malf is an option, as I said, or Ana for the Gul'dan nano boost, and I'm still thinking about a frontliner in addition with this. Having Thrall and ETC at your frontline and no one else is always a bit of a risk, because the two of them can be bursted down pretty quickly. Hammer time and Ana. Alright, weak frontline. ETC can provide some space for Hammer by simply pushing the opponent away. You have a decent setup here, the nano boost for Gul'dan, but generally speaking, I like what the UK has quite a bit right now. They have a really, really solid setup, and they can now decide what they want to give Ty in order to deal with Sergeant Hammer a little bit more reliably, or Ty to take this frontline apart. And there's Greymane. Greymane gets taken. That's camp control with Rhaegar, a lot by the way, and they have also an easy access to the bosses. So this is a good setup for the United Kingdom. I kind of like what they have here. Let's see if the Ukraine can make their own lineup happen, or if the UK takes 2 in a row and claims a victory in this best of 3. Let's jump straight into Cursed Hollow. Game number 3, the final map in this best of 3 series at the group stage. And on the left side, the United Kingdom with Galaxy on Sylvanas, Mac the Kid on Melganis, Billy on Rhaegar, Ty on Greymane, and Brad Bucket on Blaze. On the right side of the map, Candlelight on Anna, Valamax on Sergeant Hammer, Denado on ETC, Blu-ray on Thrall, and Toxic Silence, aka Smetten, is playing Gul'dan. Well, the UK, they're close to Brexiting it out of the group stage, but now they have an opportunity to keep the hopes and dreams alive on staying a little bit longer here. The team with an opportunity and also an attempt to push at the top side. Now, we talked a bit about how Greymane and Rhaegar can take camps the entire game long and how they are easily able to take also a quick kill. But let's not forget that if you have Sylvanas in the mix and you get the team onto some structures, you can easily take those down. So if they want to make some rotational plays again like they did in the previous setup, they can definitely do that. Blu-ray, then again, he's in trouble, and Thrall is dead. Green Jesus eliminated immediately. Absolutely no chance for him. And top side, we now have also still our 3-man with Ty and Billy just rocking it for the team. And that was a quick kill against Thrall. He got caught a little bit out of position, a little bit off guard too, and then gets eliminated quickly here. As long as Valamax doesn't have the hovering siege mode, Galaxy is not going to have too much trouble with that. Comes in for a bit of damage, but obviously takes a slight beating. And the control when it comes to the globes is in the hands of Hammer. And that makes this one really easy. Galaxy is going to have a tough time with this one. But we have Greymane on a camp, and we do see the same thing for Billy. So with the double wolf setup, they are able to take those camps easy peasy. That's exactly what Billy is currently trying to pull off here. We'll have to move back sooner, but there's no camp really taken outside of the Siege Giants for Ukraine yet, so there's going to be a very early push for the team in blue, and that is definitely going to help them. Greymane is assisting Rhaegar a little bit more, and just at the same time as we're seeing them moving in, but this is obviously a lot slower, like way slower. So in they go, and Sylvanas is now starting to move in. And is she... what exactly is Galaxy doing? Just sniffing out what's happening here? Yeah, they're actually moving in with quite a few heroes. The problem is that there's 3-4 heroes for the red team trying to deal with all of this. It would have been pretty cool if there were only 2. Then it's a different story. So now on level 4, we also see the Feral Resilience taken. But here comes the push topside with Galaxy, and he's really making sure that this push gets as much value as they possibly can. Destroying the first tower already, and Denado won't be able to handle that alone. That's why now Anna and also Thrall are moving in. Sylvanas likely going to move away from this, or is she? Well, Galaxy moves out and escapes, but this entire wall is taken a brutal beating. And now, Greymane is exactly where he wants to be. He's straight on the structures. Ty is able to get damage in against Toxic Silence, but they are murdering the front line, and that is a huge problem now for Ukraine. So it seems like the UK has actually figured out that they don't really have to take all of these team fights the entire time. What they can do is just annihilate structures one at a time with the help of Sylvanas, with the help of Greymane, rotate around the opponent, try to pick isolated heroes on the map whenever they get a chance. And Sylvanas isn't even moving down. Sylvanas is still sitting at the top. And as long as they can just stall them out at the bottom, this is a fine move. Traditionally speaking, this is one of the cool things on this map. You don't have to go for every single objective. But you want to trade, of course, the objective, if you give it up, for value somewhere else on the map. And that's exactly what they do. Ty is sitting in the mid lane. That is more lanes or more experience that is being lost. At the top, Blu-ray is now sitting tight. There's the channel. This time, no interrupt. But they definitely got some value out of this. They put a lot of damage on these structures. They've given up 1 tribute, and that's all that they had to do. They nearly destroyed the fort at the top side, so this is definitely working out. But I like what the Ukraine does. Ukraine is actually now sitting here and says, okay, listen, if you try and push this, we are going to meet you in kind. We're going to put more pressure onto the bottom fort and act around it. In comes the attack, though. Billy and Brad Bucket are trying to go for a quick kill, but a nice turnaround by Smetten on his Gul'dan as he turns around and drops a quick Echo Corruption. He actually fell flame build for him. No Echo Corruption, instead the Pursuit of Flame. Top side, Ty, they try to go for the counter kill, and Blu-ray is in trouble. Galaxy jumps in, but here's the kill against Sylvanas. Nicely done. Blu-ray with the perfect move. He knows fully well that he can't run away or he will die. Turns around And in kicks the trade, keeps him alive, and they are able to take Sylvanas down instead. Nicely done. And Valamax drops the fort at the bottom of the map. 7 versus 7 now. I like this. This is a cool game. United Kingdom with some good moves initially, and Ukraine not really impressed too much. They're just sitting tight and saying like, okay guys, let's just make sure, keep it cool, don't lose your head here, we can play this safe, just think this through and don't get too nervous. And they're zoning them out again. Bosses are now up to 5 minutes into the game, but it seems like with all the zoning attempts that we're seeing now, Candlelight has a good chance of getting another tribute for them. But in comes Mac the Kid. It's a 5 versus 5 again at this point, and they're going for the interrupts once more. But Valamax is set up. Mac the Kid gets away, but can he channel? No, he cannot. At least not completely. Fort is down on both sides. Forts have been eliminated all over the place. More pressure into the middle of the map now, as they're realizing slowly that they will have a tough time grabbing this tribute. But there's a big zone against the red team now, while they are trying to get the objective. Having the blue team taking an easy hit at the keep itself, and it's the fort itself, and it seems like they're gonna get this one for free. They're stalling this out as much as they can. The rotation down to the bottom of the map. It seems like they're even going for the boss now, and Rhaegar is already at it, but the second tribute is taken. But if the boss here gets claimed too, this would be a bit of a difficult situation for Ukraine to handle. They themselves are already on the boss though, so they definitely know what's coming. And this one is an easy grab for them too. So both teams are going to walk away with the boss. But Sylvanas is going to help that push a lot. And they have the earlier boss too, or do they? Yeah, slightly. It's not a big lead, it's a small one. And Greymane is immediately starting to move over towards the bottom right, with the boss now taken. Tribute is spawning, and this is really the moment. This is the moment where you have to fight. UK can't really give this one up. You can YOLO around a little bit around number 1 and number 2, but once the third one is up and you're about to get cursed, you need to be cautious here. I also want to highlight that 6 minutes and 30 seconds in, Thrall has not completed his Echo of Elements just yet. That is incredibly late for a Thrall player. This is really late. He gets no value out of this just yet. Catapults at the bottom of the map here for the blue team. I am slightly confused. Why the fuck is there a catapult for the blue team? Ah, okay. That makes a little bit more sense. For a moment I was absolutely shocked. I was like, wait, what? What kind of bug is this? But of course, level 4 for Sylvanas, the possession. So she just possessed the catapult. That's actually a great move for this one. But in comes the attack against the core, now against the tribute. Now we have level 10 for both. The Ancestral keeps Brad Bucket in play. Nicely done. They get the aggression against the backline. The boss is still pushing. It's a massive push at the bot lane, by the way. Great ult from Sylvanas. Hammer goes down. So does Gul'dan. But Melganis was taken apart too. Ty barely makes it out after his double kill. And now they're going for Blu-ray. And Thrall falls. This is a disaster for Ukraine. They're losing more and more value at the bottom of the map. Rhaegar at least gets eliminated. But it's also going to be the end of Candlelight. 4 heroes down. They get the tribute. And at the bottom of the map, the entire wall has already been opened up. And it seems like at least the fountain is going to fall. The keep is also taking a bit of damage. Great setup here for the United Kingdom. They themselves not even lose their fort at the top side. Not even the fort was taken out there. So with this, we have Greymane already pushing out the top lanes. This is the moment where they really excel. They have excelled at this on Volskaya Foundry already, pushing the lanes out, keeping the pressure up, making sure that the opponent always has to rotate back to go into a defensive position. And this is working out quite nicely for them now. 5 kills against 3. Here's the 12.5, slight lead in experience, but it's the structural position that is more important. You look at the minimap and you realize quickly that there's not a single fort left anymore for Ukraine. The attack comes through too, and it seems like this time we might just see the fight over the Bruiser camp after all. ETC stage dives in. Everybody is here. Everybody is here, but that was a great BFG that they just got. And I'm not sure if you really want to fight this out if you are UK. ETC goes down, so does Melganis. The camp gets actually taken away. Now they have the aura, and they're using it immediately, but Sylvanas is also dead. Toxic Silence barely survives, but it's not over yet. Down goes Gul'dan. They finally get the kill with Bread Bucket coming in from the side. Both of those night camps have been claimed, and both of them get some value. Blu-ray wants to get the wolf connected, and he gets it, and there's the kill. Fantastic setup by Candlelight with the sleeping dart. Really well done. And the big threat for the United Kingdom is that curse that could hit them now. But ETC had to rotate towards the top. He's still waiting for his cooldown to come back up. There's a Siege Giant camp pushing through together with catapults, so it has to be dealt with. There's still a big push through the middle of the map, and I guess Toxic Silence will have to deal with it. But down here, it's another attack against Valamax, and he's already attempting to get away, but he might actually be in a lot of trouble now. Then instead, they're going for Ana and take her down, and now Thrall is isolated too. Sylvanas comes in, and they are just claiming the position here. They're not leaving them any wiggle room anymore. Billy goes in for the channel, and that's going to be the second tribute for the team in blue. Boss timer, just so you know, 1 minute, and they're going to be up again. So that's a big, big tool for both teams on both lanes, but it's a very dangerous one in the hands of the UK, because they already dropped the opponent's fort at the bot lane and the wall. So if they take the boss down here, that would be a really big problem for Ukraine to deal with, whereas the top boss is not as much of a threat to the United Kingdom yet, because there's still the remaining few hit points on the fort, and the entire wall is still up too in front of the keep. So the pressure is definitely on the red team when it comes to those bosses on the map, and they have to make sure that the one at the bot lane isn't taken. At least not without a trade. Then Sylvanas is pushing topside again. Should probably also take down these walls eventually, so that there's no vision granted, that you don't know where your opponent is exactly. But someone has now to rotate. Ooh, this is actually tricky. Because now that the tribute is spawning, they have to deal with the top lane push, and at the same time they have to get into position for the objective, or they're going to be cursed. So likely they will have to let this one slide, and this is going to take the wall down eventually. So that's a bit problematic. It's actually really problematic for them now. And Billy, they're zoning already for him at 5 seconds until the objective spawns. And they are starting to slowly get in position, but yes, the catapult will do some damage here. It's not going to threaten the keep itself, but it's opening up the wall, and that's already a big tool. In comes the attack, and the curse is there! The curse is there! Toxic Silence with a panic horrifies. He's attacked, but in comes Greymane and Mal'Ganis. Sylvanas with a kill, ETC down, Gul'dan down, Ana in trouble, Greymane comes in and kills him together with Rhaegar. The Wolf Pack is on a prowl, and they take, after all, to bot lane. This keep is going to fall. They are in the middle, guys. They want to go for game right here. They want to go for game, and you can't really blame them. The waves are all taken down. Top lane gets attacked. A disaster for Ukraine. They got the lead in the best of 3 series, but now all of a sudden with the level 16 talents in the hands of the blue team, they're trying to go for the quick victory here. Sylvanas at the top is dealing with Sergeant Hammer and actually takes the kill. Full 5-man wipe as the core is slowly falling. The keeps are getting pressure too at the same time, and the United Kingdom with a victory against Ukraine in the best of 3 series as they take the victory on Cursed Hollow. The 2-1 win over the red team. GG and well played.